Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel.
Hey y'all.
Today we wanted to do a very informational video. It's a new day, new president, Joe Biden has won the election, and we kind of wanted to just collate a bunch of information and put it in one place so that, you know, people who may have not had time before to do extensive research kind of understands the policies that he's putting forward and what we can expect or should expect, hope to expect moving forward.
Yep, and what to hold, you know, our public servants accountable for. So these are the things that he ran on, so now it's time to see if they actually happen.
Right. So I feel like I can start with the one that's probably the freshest on people's mind and people are worried the most about. What do you think it is?
Coronavirus.
COVID. Exactly. Exactly. Like that was a major topic. If we had a different administration, things would go differently. People would take different actions. And, you know, the Biden-Harris administration has laid out a plan that they want to implement. So the plan starts with doubling access to testing. They want to do at-home testing. They want to double drive-through testing locations. They want to ensure that testing is affordable, all those great things. In addition to other resources, they want to continue to use the Defense Production Act so that we can have tons of PPE equipment and our nurses and doctors and other workers continue to be safe.
That's for you, Mom.
They have emphasized that they no longer want to listen to politicians. They want to listen to the CDC. They want to listen to the scientists when it comes to how we should be social distancing and also how long we should be social distancing for.
So no firing Dr. I don't know how to pronounce his name.
Fucci.
I know, like, it's one of those two. So no firing him?
No firing him. They want to rely on the CDC. They want to rely on scientists. They want to rely on specialists. People who have went to school, who are trained, who can advise us on these kind of situations. They have also focused on high-risk Americans. And what that means is racial and ethnic minorities that have been highly impacted and other groups that have been affected. They have put together a specific task force in combating coronavirus in those specific areas and amongst those specific groups. So the two last points of their plan is that they want to limit the global effect of the coronavirus. I don't know how impactful that is because no one really wants to let us in right now anyway. And they also want to have a national mask mandate. So, you know, that's what we can look forward to in 2021 and the rest of the year when it comes to coronavirus prevention.
Cool. Another topic we wanted to address was taxes.
Taxes?
So I was gonna say that it's so interesting because in 2017, if you don't know, Trump introduced these 2017 tax cuts, and I was actually taking federal income tax when those tax cuts came out, so I learned a lot about them. And one of Joe Biden's first plans is to actually reverse the 2017 tax cuts. So a lot of those tax cuts were for wealthy individuals, for corporations, and like that's not just like a political buzzword, like that's actually what the tax cuts were. It cut down the corporate tax rate to about 21%. Joe Biden wants to raise that to 28%. He also has promised that he won't raise taxes for anyone who makes less than $400,000 a year. Yeah, so that's the promise. So we'll see if that happens. But most people don't make $400,000 a year, so that's not gonna affect most people watching this video. Lastly, Joe Biden also wants to double the tax rate on capital gains, nearly double. I think he wants to raise it to about 38%. Once again, we'll see what happens.
Right. Another major topic for me was criminal justice reform, and basically his plan relies a lot upon the plan that he had in play when he was vice president. So I don't know if that's good or bad, like if it was just a like political scheme in order to run on the back of the Obama administration, or it's actually like, okay, well, the Obama administration plan was doing so well, like now let's expand it. Like it's up to, I guess, you to decide. So like some of the things that he's been discussing is decriminalizing marijuana. Like he's explicitly said that there's a goal to decriminalize marijuana and to release people that are in prison for petty marijuana crimes and extensive marijuana crimes. So I feel like that is something that current administration has not discussed. Bail reform. Bail reform. I remember I wrote a whole paper on that in South Africa. Like that's super important when it comes to...
You did really well in that paper too, right?
I did. I got an A+. Okay. So bail reform has been a buzz topic. It isn't really new, but that has been something that candidates have repeatedly said they were going to implement, and we can look forward to that in this administration. He's also said that he wants to have mandatory treatment rather than jail for people who are addicted to drugs or using drugs or drug crimes of that sort, which I feel like it's in line with how things used to be long ago when we didn't criminalize everything, but definitely drug usage has been criminalized now, so it's kind of like reverting back. So who knows what will happen now.
So next topic that I'm very passionate about and talk about all the time is voting. So I thought it was very important to see what Joe Biden's voting plans are in the future.
If it wasn't as important to the ordinary citizen, we all see why it is now. Like, we've seen so much open suppression this election term. So
exactly, and I feel like there's a way that people think voting works and the way it actually works, and I just want them to align.
Okay.
So one thing that is relevant to voting that Joe Biden supports is making DC a state.
Oh wow!
Because that would, statehood gives you a senator and gives you all these things, and you know DC is pretty democratic, so that would change kind of like the relations there. He also believes in letting Puerto Rico decide if they want to become a state. This has been.
Didn't Puerto Rico win statehood in law school? I remember that being a thing.
Yeah, so I'm not like that informed on Puerto Rico's statehood, but I know like no matter what, some politicians don't want them to become a state, some people want Puerto Rico to decide, like so I know that he falls on the line of wanting Puerto Rico to decide, so take that as you will. So another thing that Joe Biden supports is widespread voting by mail, and that's important right now in these times, but just generally I guess it's more convenient for a lot of people to mail in a ballot than to stand in line, so that's something he supports.
And when you say widespread, that just means everyone could do it, like not absentee, not because of these circumstances?
Right, yeah. Another thing is he does not support voter ID laws. So this was a very hot topic when I was in college. We talked about this a lot, and there are a lot of voter ID laws that a lot of people can't get an ID for various reasons, so he doesn't support expanding voter ID laws and limiting voting in that way. Another thing is that he is in support of restoring the voting rights for for people who were charged with felonies who have completed their sentence. He supports restoring their voting rights.
Okay.
And that's something that happens in some states, but is not like a federal thing. It's not, everyone can't do that. So that's another way that him and Trump are different. Trump did not support that. And then last thing, something that has also been a buzz topic on Twitter is eliminating electoral college, and neither one of them support that. So Joe Biden doesn't support that.
I was about to be real shocked.
Yeah, Trump doesn't support that. So take that how you want it, but wanted to give the full picture there.
Okay, and another big topic, at least that I've seen, that may be of importance with this new administration is education. Like, they have an extensive education plan, right? When it comes to education, it might be better to break it down by tiers. And with the new administration, they kind of want to start at high school. They want to make sure that high school students are college ready. And what that means is investing in more AP programs, AB programs that allow you to get credit. They want this to be a uniform thing, so that when people go into community colleges or four-year colleges, they are considered college ready and aren't behind, and also have college credit, literal credit, so that it can be helpful into their matriculation and also graduation from these institutions. And then on a community college level, and also on a trade level, they want to invest tons of funds there, because they've acknowledged that, you know, people of certain demographics and other groups don't have access to community college, but also don't graduate from these places. So not only is he doubling the Pell Grant, he also has emergency funds for people who, or he wants to implement emergency funds for people who can't afford to finish these programs. And you can use those funds for stuff beyond tuition, if that makes sense. So if you're a parent and you have to pay for childcare, these funds may now be used for childcare. If you are a student, but you're taking care of siblings, things like that. Like, they acknowledge the uniqueness and the different circumstances that people may be in that may allow them to be disadvantaged when it comes to school. So he specifically wants to grant $8 billion to community colleges in a specific grant to kind of reform the program, and also $50 billion to his apprenticeships. So kind of like that whole trade level that we were discussing before. So on one hand, they're helping students by increasing the Pell Grant and other emergency grants that you can get. On the other hand, they're putting direct money into these institutions so that people can matriculate and graduate and have the proper resources that they need. Also, when it comes to maneuvering through a four-year university now, once you're past the two-year level, they have pledged money for HBCUs and TCUs and other institutions that are specifically helpful for minority students. He also mentioned that as part of this education plan, they want to make college free for families who make less than $125,000 annually. So that's very new. Don't know if it was 2-year or 4-year or what yet, but I guess we will see if it happens. They also want to extend the income-based repayment program for like graduate students and other students. Specifically, one of the examples that was cited that I thought was really interesting was that when it comes to those loan repayment programs, a lot of people have to take out loans to pay their taxes on those loans, which obviously is like, you know, counterintuitive. It doesn't really make sense with the circular reasoning there. So they were like, this shouldn't be a thing. And because of that, they want to kind of have some more leniency. They also want to make private loans, what's the word for it? They want you to be able to get rid of your private loans if you file for bankruptcy. So I can't remember the exact word for it, but that's
like private student loans?
Yeah, your private student loans. But it's like the D word where it disappears. I can't think of that. Like you can't, when you're in default, like you can't, like right now the way bankruptcy works, you can get rid of all your other loans except for student loans. They follow you to death. The only way you can get rid of them is if you die. But they want to make it so that your private loans can actually disappear when you file for bankruptcy. So I thought that was pretty interesting as well. Beyond increasing the Pell Grant, they want to make it more affordable for HBCUs, TCUs, and other institutions that specifically impact their communities. So one thing that I thought was really enticing when I was actually looking into the programs about education was that in the 90s, the Pell Grant actually covered 70% of schooling, and now it only covers 30. So it really, really shows you like how unaffordable school has become.
It didn't make sense when you talk to older people and they're like,
aren't you
working through school? Like, I can't.
I worked at a grocery store to pay for law school. I mean, it costs $90,000 a year.
Times have changed. So last topic is healthcare. Not only because of coronavirus, but it's, you know, that's very important right now. And people are in the hospital more. And so I wanted to cover the differences that you might see. The new administration does have, you know, a few different views than the old administration. So first thing is that new administration does support the Affordable Care Act, which, you know, would make sense because they were there when it was implemented. But that's something that the old administration had been gutting for a while, and the new administration supports kind of re-implementing a lot of those factors for the Affordable Care Act. Another thing is having pre-existing conditions covered by insurance. The new administration wants that to be mandatory, and the old administration didn't. Another thing the new administration supports is lowering the eligibility, there we go, age for Medicare. Old administration did not support that. And lastly, the new administration supports having undocumented immigrants being able to be covered by Medicaid, and currently that's not allowed. So there are some pretty big differences there. There's some things that they agree upon, but those are like the main changes.
I feel like this is the most drastic change in my lifetime, so it's very interesting. Like even when it came to the election last time, like the policy seemed so extreme, but now
it seems
like,
even more extreme.
Yeah, after what we've seen, after what can be said, like things that are said today could not have been said 4 years ago. Who knows?
So I hope this has been very informative. Let's start a conversation in the comments. Let us know how you feel about some of these new policies, whether you disagree, agree,
whatever. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, let's talk about it. No hateful comments though.
Yeah, no hate comments.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not inviting y'all to like
get crazy in the comments about these candidates.
Let's start a conversation.
And if you like this video, as always, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and share, and watch out for more videos.
Peace, y'all.
There we go.